too.
Hey.
Yeah.
Welcome to a new era of Friends, Boxing with Friends. We're all laughing because we thought we started the broadcast and we didn't. I guess if you schedule a broadcast, you still have to hit the button to go live. That's what I learned today.
Every day's a school day.
I'm your host, Tony Augusti, here as always with Kyle O'Neill, Caitlin Shannon, Jacob Russell, Andy Maziarz, and Kate Holmes. Nick Crestwood here in spirit, possibly joining us, but he's moving. Tonight we have on stand-up comedian, improviser, and actor Marz Timms. You might have seen him on Netflix's Easy A and Pimprov. And also we have Ben Walsh from Tigers Jaw coming on later to perform tune or two for us. Yeah, this is our first on our first show on our new channel here, so we'll have a couple of technical difficulties. If we're not on Facebook, what was that?
See, that's yes-anding. That is some yes-anding right there.
Yeah.
I just threw my phone down just to add to your point.
Okay.
Because we do have technical difficulties because it stopped. Am I wrong?
It stopped?
No, it didn't for me.
It did. It could just be me. Never mind. Keep going.
All right, hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at mine and it is stopped on 24, but I'm just going to look real quick and see. No, it's live. It's live.
Okay.
It just like seized up.
We're fine.
But yeah, welcome to all of you watching. Appreciate it. Leave comments through our new comment system on Facebook and Periscope. You can we can display your comments if they are suitable and not messed up. So please feel free to comment, say hello to us. We'll be monitoring that throughout the show. Yeah, just to start off, it continues to be crazy. We've been doing this for 7 months now, and the craziness continues. We're not even going to get into all the election craziness today, but COVID is alive and well, though a lot of people couldn't tell it. Kyle, you're in LA, and you were actually there for the Lakers celebration yesterday. You bore witness to some of it.
Yeah, I was in the city of the champions, if you will. But
I will.
Yeah, but I was not near the celebration. I was like I watched the game and I was sitting by the window hoping I'd see something blow up or something like that, but it didn't. But downtown was pretty crazy, and like I was watching the news and they were showing all the people down there, and there's this like box of fireworks just like going off, like lit up, and then this guy just comes over and just like picks it up over his head, and then the next news story is man injures hand at Lakers celebration. So
how do you injure it?
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna reach out to him and give him some advice about like living with no hands.
Nice. You should show your hands so people know why that's funny. Yeah. The perils of fireworks.
Yeah, it gets better.
It was super on the nose, but one time when fireworks went to the UK, we did a photo shoot. And it was our first time ever there, and like we went to this park, the same park that George Michael got caught in the restroom there.
George Michael getting caught.
That queen at the bottom of the friggin'
That was me. I caught George Michael.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. What if I just stopped the story right there?
Okay, keep going.
Hello to Nick in the process of moving. Or Rick, as he goes by tonight.
I want to hear the rest of Kyle's story.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
No, I think it would be funny if that's how I brought it up. But no, we did a photo shoot, and it was like the magazine wanted us to do like to act like we're playing with fireworks, which obviously is stupid on my nose. And so I just like wrapped up my hand and pretend like I had it blown off.
That's hilarious.
I remember during an Ant Jam very early on, before I think I was even comfortable doing Ant Jams, you and I'm pretty sure Tony were in a scene together. Maybe I wasn't. I don't remember, but there was a chainsaw involved, and it was the first time you like had done something where you acknowledged your hand, and it was very funny, and it got a lot of laughs.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was. I don't know who else is in it. I think Jerry was actually, but
Jerry Jankowicz. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Now, if we can go deeper, Kyle, you weren't always as comfortable acknowledging your hand. Can we talk more about that?
But I thought we had a whole list of topics to talk about.
I know none of them included making Kyle feel really sad about life.
No, I come out of my shell a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's good.
My older age, you know.
Although I do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was thinking about this the other day, like you know, growing up I played hockey and I just wanted to do it, so I figured out how to play guitar. Just wanted to do that, and so I figured out, and then obviously I toured forever playing bass, which is I use my hands to do that. And the most thing I was ever insecure about doing was like comedy, which I don't need hands to do. So
yeah, I've definitely seen a change. So
yeah,
I mean, it's great.
Thanks.
I mean, not in your hand, just in your,
Well, that would
hand to stay the same,
That's what
I had to do it, guys. I had to do it. But
What?
going into COVID, like nobody was wearing masks, right, for the Lakers stuff?
It was like half, which is less than ideal.
Yeah.
But I guess better than none.
And Kate, you were talking about COVID parties, which I've never heard of, like chickenpox parties.
These
there's
motherfuckers.
Yeah, like super COVID. Like people are like we're seeking to get it right now because they were told from our president that if you get it, you're immune to it.
And that it's not as bad as the flu.
And it's definitely not as bad.
For fuck's sake.
That old chestnut.
So now everyone's like, let's all get it because then we'll be immune to it. But then they're gonna have it though.
Rumor,
it's kind of like,
rumor has it that he wanted to wear a Superman shirt under his button down when he came out of the hospital so that he could rip off his shirt with Superman logo.
he would have been sued.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I read that too.
Oh my God.
Sit and spin, tan boy.
Well, Caitlin, what were you talking
about?
about?
Do you really want him to do that, Caitlin? Do you want him to sit on your fingers and spin around?
Do you want your fingers up that little butthole?
Yeah, I do. So I can
and it's got to be a tight little butthole.
So I can paint his face with his own shit.
I don't know. He's thick with 2 C's. I bet you could fit all 10 in there.
Yep. Jennifer Horn, our very first guest on the show, by the way, agrees with you, Caitlin.
Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah, I would
Jen.
also like to finger him. Just for
Oh my
You'd
God.
like to finger him? Is that what you just said?
yeah, with Caitlin.
Yeah, I find him
Yeah,
attractive.
I can get some fingers in. Kyle can get his hand in there. Just all.
The question we've all wanted to ask. Caitlin, well, you were talking about events.
If y'all do that, I ain't gonna stand next to y'all no more. I ain't fuck with y'all no more if y'all do that. I'm sorry.
Jen, this is a brand new feature. If you don't want your comments popping up, then don't tell us you want the tell us. You have to put a disclaimer in there, but otherwise they're going to pop up.
That was great.
Great profile pic, by the way, too.
Yeah,
really captured you.
Keep it clean, Jen.
Yeah, or not. We're
definitely not.
a censored show. But Caitlin, you said that there's demonstrations going on. But now I do, and we'll plan to abuse it. Well, Jen, be aware that I control these, so it's got troll features built in. But Caitlin, you said that there's some kind of concert going on that happened in Nashville already?
Oh, yeah, it happened in Nashville. It was like on the Capitol steps, Christian rock band, just like loving everything and positivity. Everyone was positively not wearing a mask. There were over 10,000 people. It's very interesting, though, because there was no police there today. But 2 months ago when people were having peaceful protests, there were SWAT teams there. So
they're busy.
Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So cynical. Oh, I love it.
Punctuated perfectly.
Now, do you guys think, let's say there is a Biden victory, hopefully, do you think that from unified communication about wearing masks, do you think all the people not wearing masks will start wearing them, or you think it'll just be it's too late?
Fuck no, they won't.
I think the damage is kind of done.
Yeah. That's it.
But I mean, I guess it depends on how well it can be enforced, which I don't know.
Well, they've literally said in my county that they're not going to enforce it. Like, if anyone calls, they're not going to go.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, if anything, it'll just like, actual information that's correct will be passed out and, disseminated so that people actually realize what the dangers are and the harms that, are involved. And
Yeah.
I did hear anecdotal stuff that when President Trump was diagnosed with COVID, that more people started wearing masks. Just hearing about people like their neighbor that always poo-pooed it or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like the damage is kind of done too.
Yeah, I mean, he did the damage himself. And no matter who wins, he's still alive to tweet his bullshit. So
just what a terrible leader, Like,
no, I wouldn't even say he's a leader.
Yeah,
he's
right.
A personal
leader.
Platform.
I'll use air quotes.
Yeah. My hope is that if he doesn't win, I just want everyone to stop talking about him. I don't want anyone retweeting him. I don't want anyone giving weight to anything he says. I just want him to drift off into his little island and shout into the void.
Yeah,
I think that'll be the case if you watch CNN or MSNBC, but I think Fox News.
See, if you remember correctly, I predict what will happen now, whether he is reelected or not. There will be a bunch of revisionist history, just like CNN did. I remember seeing a special on Ronald Reagan talking about what a great man he was and a great president. So there'll be a bunch of revisionist history. Yes, the actor from Bedtime for Bonzo.
All right. Well,
and also with George Bush, both
that happened
senior
too.
and junior. A lot of revisionist history.
Yeah.
Well, George W. Bush, he's a cute little painter now. He paints paintings. And he, did 9/11.
Stink. His paintings stink. Just like Hitler's.
They're bad. They are bad.
Yeah. They're not good, but I can't draw at all. So I admire anyone that can draw, even George W. Bush. Yeah, I said it. I admire George W. Bush.
Do you?
If it's his passion and he's following it.
Job at CNN.
Oh, are they hiring? I don't know if I could live in Atlanta. I don't think I have the hair for it. Anyway, our first guest.
You have magnificent hair, Tony.
Oh, thanks, Nick. As do you. I really like this look you're developing.
It's beautiful.
COVID.
Let's all just compliment each other for a little while.
Did you get a perm, Nick? Is that a perm?
That wasn't a compliment.
No, I'm just of Italian descent.
Okay. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
For real. She got a perm.
You look like David from Roseanne.
Fuck. Just getting roasted.
Oh, God.
That wasn't a bad thing.
You really do have very nice curls.
It sure was delivered like a roast.
If he was just known for Roseanne, I would have been, I guess, okay with it. But then he went on to do The Big Bang Theory. Which,
I mean, I'm all on board for Roseanne when Roseanne existed. Then
I mean, your hair is a lot like his when he was on Roseanne, not when he was.
Whatever, Jacob. God.
What were you gonna say, Kyle?
I was gonna say, like, honestly, besides the one of the Beckys, David was the second hottest on that show, in my opinion.
Which Becky?
Hot Becky.
The hot Becky from Scrubs.
Which one?
From Scrubs.
What about Darlene? She seemed like a real man eater.
No way.
She dates a lot of guys in real life.
I like the first Becky.
Jacob, I'm with you. First Becky, way hotter.
First
also,
Becky.
The hottest person on the show is Lori Metcalf as Aunt Jackie.
That's what I was going to say. Aunt Jackie is the friggin' best.
Lori Metcalf.
Lori Metcalf is a queen.
All right. We'll have to agree.
We're the founders of the Steppenwolf Theater in Chicago.
Oh, wow. Lieutenant Dan. Anyway, speaking of Chicago, thank you, Andy. Our first guest tonight is a very talented improviser, actor, stand-up comedian, and voice actor. He is from Chicago, and he's been nice enough to agree to be on our show. I don't know if he realizes he's on the air yet. He's looking into the camera. His name is Marz Timms. Welcome.
Hi.
Nope.
Did not know. I was listening to all the Roseanne talk. That's what I thought was still.
Are you a fan?
There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, Laurie Metcalf. That's pretty good. And then I was like, yeah, which Becky was the good looking?
The one with the ass.
The one with the ass. Yeah. I was also thinking about what everyone is drinking because I looked up and I saw everyone. Jake had a red Solo cup. Katie, you had was that like whiskey or something like that?
Yeah, there.
All right. That's what I was.
What are you tropical ale.
Yeah, I've just
Wait,
got
what do you got in the red cup though, Jake? Is it Hennessy and you're drinking Two Hearted?
No.
No?
This is straight Two Hearted.
Oh, you're just drinking it
okay.
out of the Solo cup. Okay.
One or the other usually. Yeah, Marz, thanks so much for joining us. You were telling me before when all this started, you were actually doing stand-up touring Southeast Asia.
Yeah. I was in Thai. I had a lot of countries on that list. It was Thailand, Japan, China, Singapore. There's thought about a stop in Vietnam as well, and then things started falling off the list rapidly.
How many countries in did you get?
Just Thailand.
Oh, okay.
So first off the list were Hong Kong and Shanghai. Then Tokyo dropped off. Then Vietnam dropped off, and then it was still Thailand and Singapore. And then while I was there for like 2.5 weeks, Singapore dropped off. So,
oh man, was this your first tour of Southeast Asia?
Yes. I've been to Japan before, but the rest of it, no.
Were you enjoying it?
It was amazing. I wish I was still there.
Yeah.
Did you have a hard time coming back?
Meaning like traveling back or no. People were talking about it. They were like showing like these super long lines to get into Chicago's O'Hare Airport, and people were like, "Oh, we were waiting 7 hours," and I literally got off the plane, walked through customs in a matter of minutes, and they're just like, "Oh, temperature fine, bye."
We have one of our Japanese fans, Seiko, is asking, where is this gentleman? I see Japanese movie posters behind him.
Hi, Seiko. This is from the Ramen Museum in Yokohama. So I was there, and it's amazing. Ramen comes from all the different, every prefecture in Japan makes it differently. And so you could go through and you could like taste all the different ramen there, and
wow.
I was in Japan for about a month. So.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever have ramen for breakfast? Because when I was in Japan, we would have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was awesome.
Yeah, and depending on where you stayed there, their happy hour included it. So, you don't have to pay for that. You just get back to the hotel, eat, and then go out.
Okay.
I've fallen back in love with freeze-dried ramen since the quarantine.
In response, Seiko says hello. So it's nice to be acknowledged.
Yeah, it's good to say hi.
Yeah. So, were you with like a certain, like a specific tour, or was this something you booked yourself?
It was my improv group, Pimprov.
Okay.
I saw Pimprov in 2017 in Chicago, and I fell in love with it. It was amazing. It was so entertaining, so fun. Oh God, it was like one of the. I was there I was doing the IO intensive, and it was like one of the highlights of my whole summer going to see you guys.
Oh wow.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we try to make it that way for everyone that comes out to see the show. It's a fun time. It's basically a bunch of friends being mean to each other on stage as these pimp characters and improvising. So it's a lot of fun to do. That's a show that I never worry about doing. I show up in a good mood to just play.
And can you talk a little bit about Pimprov and how it got started, and about what it's about?
Absolutely. Pimprov is about 4 pimps that took improv classes on accident. And they don't want to waste their money, so they decide to make a show out of it. And there's a lot of breaking of the fourth wall, talking to audience members, being mean to each other on stage, and just all out breaking of all the improv rules, but still maintaining great scene work along the way. The show started, I had a show that I wrote and was producing, Big Kids Comedy Hour. And we'd always have about 20 minutes left over to play with before we had to be out of the theater. So one of the guys in the show, his dad was an ex-pimp. And I was like, what, great comedy comes from great characters. What bigger character than a pimp, with the way they dress, the way they talk, just the whole thing surrounding them, the music and everything. And so all that, if you think about all of those pieces, those are the things that go into making a great show. The intros, the characters, finding out about the characters up top. Once you know about the characters up top, you can go from there to wherever you want because people are riding along with you because they feel they have something invested in these characters. So our first show was basically us walking out on stage in our costumes that we put together and just making fun of each other. And that was the show. And 2 guys who were respected improvisers that I love, Ed Furman and Joe Bill, they were in the back of the house just laughing their ass off. And they're like, keep doing this show. So through the years, it's evolved. We do a lot of charitable work, which is one of the main things I love about the show. So every show we raise funds for different domestic abuse shelters around Chicago or wherever we're performing.
Oh, that's cool.
We have a Thanksgiving food drive that we do for needy families in Chicago. And then we have a toy drive that we do every Christmas for children that have to stay in domestic abuse shelters during the holidays. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, this show.
Yeah. How many years have you been doing this?
Pimprov has been running for 16 years.
Wow.
And it was every Friday for 11 years until COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I like anybody enough to do something with them for 16 years.
Yeah, we're like in this year 6, I think, here.
Year 6, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had people come and go.
Thing to say.
Yeah, we've had people.
You don't like us enough?
What's that?
Should we have this talk right now with Kate about
later, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but go ahead, Marz.
No, I was just saying, yeah, through the years we've had people come and people go through the group. Guests come through. Chris Red, who's on SNL, was doing the show for a while.
Oh, okay, awesome.
He's in 3-Peat too, right?
Yeah, 3-Peat. Lamorne Morris, who did New Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Woke on Hulu right now. So a lot of people came through.
Did you all original performers meet through improv, or did you know each other before?
2 of the original guys I've known for years. One was my roommate, and then everyone else we met through performing around the city, Second City, the Annoyance Theater, and yeah, it's more so of a who do you feel you'd have fun just shooting the shit with on stage, and there it is, and that's how that's the audition process.
So were you always doing stand-up alongside that, or what were you doing it before? Did you transition into it?
Transitioned into stand-up. I was looking for a new challenge, and stand-up gave me that. I thought it would be easy because I was like, oh, I'm comfortable being on stage. I can riff. Stand-up's hard.
Yeah,
I've done both, and I find it harder than improv because it's just you.
I just did storytelling one time, and I just remember grabbing the microphone and being like, I'm up on this stage weekly, and I could barely handle it, and it was somewhere I was comfortable.
Yeah, no, it's a whole different animal unto itself.
Do you prefer it more, or is it just different for you?
I prefer stand-up more.
Yeah, so okay. How come?
Oh, wow.
What do you like about it versus improv?
It's just me and versus the audience. I love the challenge of it and going out every night and just, battling people's day and battling to get them to laugh. So yeah, no, I definitely have grown to love stand-up more.
That's awesome. And now also you're doing acting. You're on Netflix's Easy A, which is, I guess I found out before the show was like done by an improviser or put together by an improviser, they were telling me.
Yeah, Joe Swanberg. I think I said it with a CH when I just said it. Schwan, but it's Swanberg. Yeah, Joe Swanberg created. It's Easy, not Easy. Easy A, I think is
that's a movie with.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Easy. I got those confused. My mistake.
Confused.
Apologies to Emma Stone.
Yeah.
She's very offended.
Yeah.
Good movie, but I'm not in
God,
So
we're gonna get another letter from Emma Stone.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's a beast. Do they cast exclusively through Chicago, or because I know it's set in Chicago?
No, it was out of LA.
Oh, okay. So they shoot it all in Chicago or no?
Yes, they do shoot in Chicago.
Okay.
But a lot of the people in it, Mark Maron, who else?
Like Dave Franco, iCatch, others.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom.
That's Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people out of Hollywood in there as well.
Is acting something you like? Is this like part of because you do so many things? Is that something you're focusing on more lately, or is it something that you take as it comes along and you focus more on stand-up?
I focus on, producing Pimprov is its own full-time job, but so my focus will shift throughout a month. I'll feel myself being heavy producing Pimprov at one point, and then at some point it'll be just writing and doing stand-up a lot more, and then there's a lot of voiceover acting and commercials and stuff that'll come along. So it shifts. It depends on the mood I'm going through, maybe.
Speaking of voiceover, there are a couple of hardcore hockey fans here that knew something I didn't about some of the voiceover work you do. Kyle,
I was just looking at your Instagram and said you're the arena host for the Ice Hogs.
Yes. They're the
voiceover work, but you're a host there.
I consider it voice work.
Yeah, they're the Blackhawks, the minor league team, and I was the Chicago Bulls in-arena host for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you make the trip? Were you a fan of the Ice Hogs originally, or did you become a fan?
I became a fan when I got the job. So I'm probably the one person in the stadium that does not know a lot about hockey. But I love the Ice Hogs and the Ice Hogs fans because they are ready for whatever. And I've noticed that the difference between like basketball fans and hockey fans, where hockey fans are like party animals, if you will. And so they just want to have a good time. Not saying that basketball fans aren't, but it's more of a corporate environment.
Yeah, they don't hold back, the hockey ones.
Well, it's interesting too because Kyle and I have been to the AHL, the Red Wings team in Grand Rapids, and I've seen the Ice Hogs play, but AHL is like a whole different level too. Of like, you go to those games and it is like wild because the players are young and they're like fighting a ton, and there's usually we always went on like $1 hot dog and beer nights.
Yeah, the deals that you get are amazing.
Yeah,
and just a lot of fun happens.
Yeah.
Dogs on the ice and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, did you guys have they have like a 4-wheeler in Grand Rapids that they would like drive around and shoot the hot dogs at people?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Ours is called the Window World Zamboni.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. It was just funny also to see when Kyle started asking you about hockey, like the look you got on your face, like you're like, oh boy, here we go.
I don't want to get you in trouble with your employment. But I was just wondering because, like, you know, Rockford's like pretty close outside of Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. So I just like wonder what kind of like crossover market between the, like, you know, Chicago sports teams like the Blackhawks and them are, because like here or in Detroit it's like 2 hours apart, so they're like completely different markets.
Huge crossover. Yeah. You're a Blackhawks fan, you're an Ice Hogs fan. They're very close. Even though the Wolves are closer to Chicago.
Oh.
The Chicago Wolves are closer.
Oh.
But the Ice Hogs are the Blackhawks team. So, whereas you don't get a lot of Blackhawks jersey at a Coyotes game. Coyotes? Are they the Coyotes? Yeah. Wolves. The Wolves. But at the Ice Hogs game, that's all there is. And the Blackhawks players, when they come down to rehab and stuff, they're there. So it's pretty crazy.
Talking about your voiceover work, you were actually a voice in Mortal Kombat 9.
Whoa, no shit.
Yeah.
He activated Rick.
Yeah, I know. How did you score that?
I'd done some voices for games for Midway games before, and they called a bunch of us in to read the script, and they're like, "Hey, you guys are just here for the reading. Nobody in this room is gonna get a part in this game. We were bought by Warner Brothers. All that's being cast out of Los Angeles," and we were just like, "Okay, still get paid for being here, right?" It's like, yeah. So we did the reading, and about 2 years later, they contacted me, and they're like, "Oh, we really like the way what you did at the reading, and we want you to do the voice of Jax." And I was like, "Okay."
Of course, they make you do Jax, right?
I know, and I am not big and black with metal arms. I am tiny with human arms. But I did the voice, and they liked it. And so, and then it took like 2 or 3 years after doing the voice for it to come out. And they make you sign NDAs and everything so that you can't talk about anything. And then I guess they used me for Reptile as well.
Oh, wow.
Now, do they direct you?
That's really cool.
Go ahead, Jake.
No, I said, okay, that's not as racist.
Do they direct you in terms of like the voice, or do you just come up with the voice on your own and they tell you if they like it or not?
I had the voice on my own.
Can you give us a little of it?
Shang Tsung, where's Sonya? Yeah. So I always tell people that doing the voiceover sessions for different things, doing that one was a lot like making porn, because
oh yeah, let's.
And you know that because
I've done a lot of voiceovers.
And just a couple porn experts here.
I watch a lot of voiceover too.
Yeah.
There's certain types that I have on X voiceovers, but they like you do the way they have you do all the easy stuff first, and then at the end they have you do all the screaming and the grunting, because that burns your voice out. So there's a sound engineer in the room with a director and writer and everything, and they're like, "All right, let's hear what it sounds like when you get your arms ripped off." And you're just like, "Urgh." Yeah, that's good. Can you give me a longer one? Urgh. Ooh, yeah. Now it's really getting ripped off. It really hurts. Yeah, now another one. Now you're getting thrown off a building. Was that good, guys?
Careful, Kyle might get a little excited.
I know. Can I have a cigarette?
Yeah,
that's a great comparison. What was I going to say? Well, we talked a little bit in the on yesterday. We were talking a little bit, and something like a lot of our viewers watch is like there's a lot of improvisers and things like that, and creatives, and they talk about staying busy, like or actually getting busy during the pandemic in terms of like creativity. I know you don't like to talk about like what specific stuff you're working on, but like how do you motivate yourself to like keep working on whether it's like writing or planning for Pimprov or whatnot?
I would be staggering around drunk all day long if I didn't do some busy work.
Hell yeah.
And just being a creative and not letting days get away from you. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some days when you're just like, all right, I'm not gonna do shit today. But then like today, I've been today and last night I've been doing a lot of writing and putting together this project and answering some emails. I was writing all day today on a Zoom call and then via emails and Instagram DM messages and stuff like that to get some stuff done for an animated project that I'm working on.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Actually, Pimprov would be a great animated project. I'm not going to say that's what it is, but that's just on my personal wish list.
That's your personal wish list?
Yeah, Pimprov, the animated series,
All right.
Right after Black
writer as well, so you give me a pitch for it. And,
okay. Jake, you had something to say?
Yeah, Pimprov. I was want to say real fast. I also saw Pimprov. Saw it twice. Saw it once in Chicago. Andy actually recommended it to me. That's why I saw it. And and like she said, that was like one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. That's probably the best improv show I've ever seen. Probably my favorite. And I do remember one time, not one time, but in the show there was a guy in the audience. You was roasting the fuck out of him, and he was some lame looking guy, and I don't know. He left, and then he came back. When he came back, y'all was like messing with him, and he was like, he said, "Whoop, there it is." And I'm like, what the fuck? Why'd you say, "Whoop, there it is"? And then I started roasting him even more. So it was fucking great. But
I equate it to you can go to the zoo and that's fun, but you can go on safari and live a little dangerously. And going to see Pimprov's like going on safari. We're in your face. We're right there. There's nothing separating us and you. So if you're talking shit, we will get you.
Yeah. And then y'all call each other out on stage too, like like roasting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll be scared to improvise with y'all, but then I still want to. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, an experience.
You better bring your A game, because we are mean to each other all the time. We have our own like text message group, and there are lots of things said that cannot be said anywhere else.
Oh
we are mean to each other.
Oh yeah, I have a similar group like that. I know exactly what you're talking.
Is it this group?
We're very supportive, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know. We're mean to everybody else. We're the bullies.
Yeah, that's true.
No, we're nice. We're nice.
Before we talk a lot of shit, and then we're supportive of each other.
Yeah. I tend to bust people's balls. I'm the ball buster. Mm-hmm. And the host. That's I'm the host. Cool. I guess last question
is: Are you rolling joints, Rick? Are you getting your weed put together?
Oh man,
it's legal here, so he could be.
No.
Worth it. That was worth it.
Final question. What's your prediction on when you think things will get back to normal?
I'm hoping sooner than later, but it seems like later. Sometime late next year, unfortunately. Like July or in time.
Or a year from now.
Yeah, or a year from now. I mean, we can't seem to look beyond our own selfish behavior in that if we all just did a few simple things, sure, maybe you're not comfortable with it, but it's for everyone else and not just you and your own fucking selfish not wanting to wear a goddamn mask for whatever reason.
Well, you know what? I want to go to Applebee's and nobody is going to tell me what to do because my life cannot change.
Yeah,
I mean, who's risking their life for Applebee's? Like, that's just embarrassing as shit.
I like Chili's.
This whole nobody's gonna tell me what to do attitude, and I'm smarter than everybody else because I saw somebody say this on YouTube, and there are people whose job this is for a reason, saying, "Hey, we all just wear some masks, social distance for a little while. We can get this all knocked out." Prime example: the NBA bubble.
Yes.
Yeah. The NBA and the NHL. They had a successful COVID-free playoff run.
You are rolling a joint.
No,
let's say club cigarette.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cigarette. Okay,
it's legal here.
NBA bubble, NHL bubble. It's as simple as that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the fact that no other countries will let us in.
Nobody wants us.
I feel like a lot of people don't
sadly
that like we just can't leave our country.
Yeah. We talk all that shit, and everybody's just like, "Yeah, you guys stay there."
Right.
So, Marz, thanks so much for being on. Hope you get back on the road and back to Asia sooner rather than later. If Pimprov is around, whenever it finally does come around here again, it's been the Hamtramck, Planet Ant, and I think more than once, right? Or twice, yeah. And
I've been there
catch
twice.
it. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Well, catch him if he's in your town. And thanks so much for being on. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And also, you can follow him on social
Marz.
media.
Thanks for being here.
You can follow Marz on social media at Marz Timms, just like his name on the screen. So thanks a lot.
Thanks. Later.
Bye.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was really great.
great.
And thanks to our fans for like Seiko and Jen. If you have comments or questions for our guests, Rich CR says the best shows are when they roast each other for
I'm excited about that.
for the greater good. Graham Leslie, great interview, and also veterans for Biden Harris. Graham is a veteran. I always forget he was in the Navy, but he is because he's the nicest guy. So,
Nice.
yeah, Navy.
Teddy Bear Graham.
Yeah, and Teddy Graham. Someone should invent a product called that, right? Does anyone remember the 80s? Okay, or the 90s? Yeah.
In the Navy.
I was a big cokehead then. I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
The 80s?
No, the 90s.
I love that. I did so much coke, I forgot about Teddy Grahams. I don't think of it.
Dude, I still love chocolate Teddy Grahams so much.
Dude, they still hit hard. I have them in my pantry.
Oh, I didn't know they still made them.
Huh?
I said, what Teddy Grahams you say?
I like the chocolate Teddy Grahams.
Oh, chocolate.
Cinnamon, though.
Yeah,
I like cinnamon. I'm a cinnamon guy.
I like cinnamon. I like the honey. I mean, I literally will eat any Teddy Graham.
It sounded like you just said Titty Graham, but
I will eat a Teddy Graham too. You know.
Teddy Graham.
Yeah, thanks to Marz, man. That was a great interview, and
Awesome.
he was so much fun.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, Kyle, you want to bring on our next guest? He's been waiting patiently since the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So sorry.
He wanted to watch along, okay?
Okay, yeah. It was just funny. I saw him there, and I'm like, he's way early. Like,
Yeah, he wanted to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been Walsh from the band Tigers Jaw. It's been a while. Ben.
I've been. I thought it was 8 a.m. So I've been on here since.
So patient.
You're up super early on Columbus Day. That's your day to get up early, right?
Every year.
Put up the decorations.
Absolutely joking. Not a Columbus guy.
Yeah, no.
You're not celebrating it.
In the pre-interview, Ben was like, "I don't want to talk about any part of any pro Columbus talk." So.
No, fuck that guy.
Well, you came to the wrong place.
Never mind.
Yeah, we can't even get out that we're pro Columbus. I was saying earlier, it's like it's the whole reason my whole life has been like, what kind of Indian are you? That's very common. Not lately though. People are scared to ask. Yeah.
We should celebrate Chris Columbus, the other guy, the movie guy. We should
The guy
celebrate
that
him.
directed Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I can get down with that
Director
guy.
of Mouse Hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he did
What
the
a
first Harry
portfolio.
Potter too.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think.
Nice. Well,
And if there's someone that
never-
we should celebrate besides Christopher Columbus, it's J.K. Rowling, of course, right? She hasn't said anything controversial, right?
Absolutely.
Why is everybody looking at me like that?
What
already
a
had his
wonderful
rant about
person
this.
she is.
What she do? What J.K. Rowling?
We'll tell you after the show.
She's a fucking
tell you
turf,
later.
is what she did. She's a turf, and
Let's
she's a
talk about
shitty
that.
writer. She keeps writing dumbass books about wizard schools. Because she can't save any of her money from the other books about wizard schools. She just keeps spending it like it's fucking water. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Cal, go ahead.
We're really excited you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to be on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So you're like probably like our seventh guest from Philly. So what's in the water there? That's a segue from talking about the water money.
There's a lot of weird stuff in the water, I think. There was a leg that washed up in the water in the Delaware River near my house a couple weeks back.
Wow.
Just
A whole leg?
A leg, yeah. It still had a shoe on it.
Oh,
Oh shit.
someone's got to be missing that.
Yeah.
Well,
There you have it. That's
Maybe
what's in the water.
maybe the Eagles will hire it. They've been struggling lately, so.
Yeah.
Sports joke.
so Ben and I have we've known each other for a while. I did a tour with you with a band called Loose Plains that I was in for a little bit, and we actually shared some members, and Fireworks shares some members as well. So we're kind of incestuous, if you will.
I like how you put that as it's usually not
I
mentioned like a
won't.
positive.
No, it's a good thing. I love it.
Yeah, you guys all met Teddy.
Yeah.
Well,
We played-
on the show.
Yeah.
Our band and Fireworks were on the same record label years and years ago. We played a few shows. I played in at Smalls in Hamtramck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Co-owned by Melody Milosh, my former co-worker at the Detroit News.
And we stayed. We like found someone at the show to crash with that night, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll make you some food. Like it'll be sweet." And then they brought us back to the house, and they had this roommate who was definitely like a juggalo, and he tweeted. He
Hell
tweeted.
yeah.
He wasn't at the show or anything, but when we got there, he tweeted out, "Tigers Jaw is at our apartment. Everybody come party." And we were trying to go to sleep.
Oh no!
All of a sudden, just like the craziest people start showing up.
Oh my god.
A wash and Fago.
That's the worst. It happened to us in Omaha. We like played a show and we found someone to stay with, and they're like, "Yeah, we got this big house. You'll have plenty of room to sleep and stuff like that." And we get there and like they're like, "Oh, we invited all these people over. We're gonna have a party for you." And we're like, "Oh, cool." And then I was like, I need to go find a place to sleep. So I went in the basement and found a corner. Like I rolled up my sleeping bag and laid down to go to sleep. And then a band just started playing in the next room.
I think people assume that it's like a rock star thing, like we just want to party all night or whatever. When really we've driven 7 hours that day, and just want to find somewhere to sleep. Yeah, I'm sure there's been plenty of stories like that where people are like, we had one dude. Was like, "Oh, you guys should come stay at my house. My mom is really, really hot."
Was she?
All right. She wasn't even there.
Oh, false
She
advertising.
wasn't even there, but we were trying to sleep, and he was blasting Family Guy from the living room.
That's a red flag.
More like a green flag. Come on, guys. Who's with me?
All right.
Nobody.
There's a little rumor that, well, it's not really a rumor. I know it's true, but you own a donut shop.
I do. A couple of years ago,
Oh, wow.
me and some friends, none of us who have any experience baking or anything, but we started a donut shop, and last August we opened up our first storefront in Philly, and then the pandemic happened this year, so it's been very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Hello Donuts. It's in.
I'll have to come check it out when the pandemic is over. Donuts are my favorite dessert.
Yeah, me
they're
too.
awesome.
Me too, man. What's your best selling donut?
Yeah.
Probably the Specky Loose donut. You ever had like the cookie butter?
Yes.
I don't know what that is. Explain.
You have my attention.
The cookies that they give you on airplanes, like the shortbread cookies.
Yeah,
like the Delta cookies?
Like a
yeah.
cookie.
So there's like a spread we make an icing out of, and then crumble up the cookies on top. They're really good.
Oh man. Now, do you know how to actually make the donuts yourself, or?
I've assisted in the kitchen, but we have some bakers that are way more equipped than me. So I mostly just work up front.
And how do you pull a lot of fans? Like, do a lot of fans show up at the donut shop, or?
Occasionally, yeah. We've been trying to, kind of cross promote. I guess we wanted to do acoustic sessions in the shop. We were able to do one so far, and then kind of like everything got shut down. So we intended to make a series out of it, but only got the first one done. But we'll pick it back up when we can.
Yeah. So the store's been not open that long, or?
Just a year this past August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you got some other rockers involved with it, right?
Yeah. So my friend Joe Morrow, who manages bands and played in the early November, and then my friend Zach, who manages a lot of bands as well.
Nice. So you just put out a new song recently.
We did. Yep. This is the first one. So our shared drummer Teddy. This is the first record with Teddy playing on it. We didn't announce our new record yet. We're announcing it soon, but we released just a single that was recorded at the same time.
Nice.
One of our reviewers said she heard gefilte cookies and she loved it. So,
Like the fish?
yeah. So maybe something for Hanukkah. You know what I mean?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
We're getting a lot of
Do you
donut
get
comments too.
Do you get experimental with the donuts? Like,
yeah, I
feel
could use some donuts to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving.
For full disclosure, before we started the show, we were talking about things we would talk about you with, and the minute you mentioned donuts, everyone's like, "Yeah, we were so excited to talk about donuts."
Super excited.
Yeah, I like them enough to have kind of put all of the money I had saved up into trying to start a shop. So I get it. I'm a big fan.
They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
Big fan of the Dones,
Yeah,
and a big fan of the jaw as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're like a few followers away from 10,000 on the Hello Donuts Instagram. So,
okay.
I'll go follow you.
Watching?
Yeah. What's your
looking photos of donuts? Check us out.
What's your
at
Instagram?
Hello Donuts PHL.
Okay. And then I have running along the bottom too. You can follow Tigers Jaw on Twitter at Tigers Jaw.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're getting a shocking amount of donut comments.
The great unifier.
Really, it's so true though. Yeah, it's like one of the best conversation things ever. It's like, I want a donut
joke, man. Sorry.
Everybody knows a D nut.
A D nut. What kind of?
A D nut.
That's a different type of nut you talking about.
What kind of nut is it?
These nuts, baby.
These nuts.
We actually worked at, we were selling our donuts at like a farmer's market sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And some guys from New Jersey came up to us and they were asking us some questions and stuff. And then they gave us their card and they were like, we sell donuts out of a truck. And their business was called These Nuts.
Are they competitors?
Oh, I get it now. You were talking about cum, Kate.
Was it?
All right.
I'm not the dirty one in the group. You guys have to stop selling this narrative that I'm the dirty one in the group.
You are the dirty one in the group.
But you are.
Yeah.
Every time I have a donut, my roommate calls me a dirty girl. So there's that.
Every time. Didn't you just move into that place?
Well, my old roommate now.
Oh, okay.
That's why he moved out.
Right.
He couldn't take it.
That would be Brett from Fireworks and his wife Liz. They both call me a dirty girl anytime I eat something sweet.
Nice.
Anyways, so back to the music.
We've come full circle.
Yeah.
Like a donut.
Yeah. So it's your first kind of writing session with this current lineup that you have. Correct?
Yeah. It was much more collaborative. The last record we did was just there were only two kind of like official band members, and we had members that would play when we would tour and play shows. So it was just the two of us writing the record. But this time around, it was the full band, so it was a lot more collaborative, and it was really fun.
That's awesome. Do you want to play a song for us?
I would love to.
Hell yeah.
So this song it's called "Warn Me." It's our newest song.
Great.
I was wondering if all the screens were going to stay up and
no, well,
you guys watching.
It's just gonna be you.
I wouldn't have been able to handle that. All right, cool. This song's called "Warn Me." Wish I was looking out your window. Wish I was tugging at your sleeve, pulling your focus from your telephone, telling you what you mean to me. You are the sunlight burning my eyes, even when I look away. Try to make sense of your actions, but what a way to lose a night of sleep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I expected a warning. I expected your voice in a crowded room, all alone in the morning. All these questions were leading me back to you. You are the sunlight burning my eyes. I can't help but look away. No innocence from inaction. No other place I'd rather be. Whoa, 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 whoa. I expected a warning. I expected your voice in a crowded room, all alone in the morning. With no sunlight, your flowers, they will not bloom. I expected a warning. Holding out for your eyes, close to crowded room, all alone in the morning. All these questions were leading me back to you. I expected a warning. I expected your voice in a crowded room, all alone in the morning. I expected a warning.
All right. That was awesome.
Yay!
That's a good ass song, Ben.
That's a great song.
Appreciate that.
I miss listening to music, guys. Like live.
I miss playing shows.
Yeah, were you guys out when the pandemic hit? Because
No, we were a few weeks away from starting a tour, so we had to kind of we rescheduled it, but didn't even announce the shows because we knew it was going to inevitably be canceled. So, so it got shifted around a few times, and then we ended up just having to totally cancel it.
Yeah.
We got a comment from the chat. Donnie Riddell says, "Woo!" Exclamation points.
Thank you, Donnie.
More like woo. More like
yeah.
woo!
Yeah, I didn't. You know, I didn't feel the emotion of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen Horn says Rick looks shady as shit.
I will have to say, I mean, I know we have mutual friends because I'm friends with a lot of Kyle's friends, but the summer of 2000, I think it was 2008, 2009, whenever your self-titled record came out, a lot of our friends were very much into that record. We didn't get to see, I don't know if we got to see, I don't remember if we saw you guys live. No, you guys didn't tour that much, I don't think.
We barely toured back then. So.
Yeah, but yeah. Big fan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's crazy to think how many years ago that record.
Yeah. We were children when.
How long was it?
It was like 2008, 2009.
Wow.
Yeah, Lisa still living at home with her parents.
This sounds like a song. Like Lisa's still living at home with her parents. Have you been like working a lot on music, or you and Tigers Jaw, or you guys been separate?
Yeah, it's been tough just because we kind of are spread out. Like Teddy lives in Detroit, and Brianna and Colin both live in Northeast PA. I'm in Philly. So for the first little bit, we couldn't really get together at all. So we were doing like live stream acoustic stuff, and then a couple of weeks back, we were able to get together and do a full band live stream show, which was really, really fun. And we've just been getting stuff ready for our new album. We recorded a couple music videos and, quick promo photos and stuff like that. But it felt really like great after so many months, because the last show we played was in December of last year. So it had been so many months since we were all together. So. And we're used to being stuck in the same van for 6 weeks at a time. So it had been probably the longest time we were all apart for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like especially with this all hitting in March. Like that's like kind of right when you either start the first tour of the year or like you have basically a year lined up, and that just all got taken away probably.
Yeah, we ended up pushing back the release date of the album, thinking that maybe touring would start back up towards the end of the year or towards the beginning of next year, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And it seems like maybe some international stuff will be able to happen, but I don't know if our passports will be usable at that point.
Yeah, I've only seen I've seen a bunch of bands that like have pushed down their overseas dates, and like I just wonder if like we'll even be allowed in or anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I hope. You need to rock. You need to let your freak flag fly.
I'm dying here.
Do you have plans for like a new album, or are you just working on stuff right now? Just jamming it.
It's been recorded for a bit. We were trying to release it this year, but we had kind of pushed back like manufacturing and everything, thinking that touring might pick back up, like I said. But yeah, it didn't. Like obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon. So we were just like, all right, well, touring or not, we're going to release the record, because bands like ours from kind of the world that we come from, it's pretty cyclical. Like you write the record, you record it, and then you go on tour for a long time, and then you kind of start the cycle over. So this is really kind of changing the script of like, what does a band do when you can't tour? And that's kind of like how you make your living. It's been a pretty difficult transition figuring out what to do, because you can't do live stream shows all the time, because you only have so many songs and so many ways of rearranging the same set. You can't really do it like a tour. So
yeah. How do you feel about driving shows?
Oh, we did one drive-in show.
Really?
Okay.
And it was really awkward. We couldn't get the whole band to come in for it, and it was a benefit show. But yeah, people were like honking their horns while we were playing and stuff. It was too weird.
Oh God!
And you were playing acoustic?
Yeah, and you think about the beeping of the horn. You can't tell if it's a positive or a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
no-
It
one.
might be like, hell yeah, this is good. Or
Yeah, it should be. You should rev your engine if you're cheering, and then you should honk your horn if you're booing.
No,
New
you should do
etiquette.
neither.
Yeah.
You should sit there and enjoy the show and don't be a dick. Ruin for everybody else.
Yeah,
I
they
think-
need to establish that drive-in show etiquette.
Or you could
Yeah.
you could just yell like woo, just do that.
Whoa!
Woo.
That's
Don't do that because then it's gonna sound like you're booing. It's gonna sound like you're
Yeah.
booing. If you do it unenthusiastic like Tony, it's gonna sound.
I just have a dystopian view.
Out your window.
Yeah, or I just have a dystopian view of the future, like Dan was saying. Thanks to the fans for always honking at our shows. Like we appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
I love to honk around with my friends.
Yeah.
I think that I don't remember the exact key, but most car horns are in the same key. So if you can rearrange your songs to be in that key, I think it's C sharp. And the horns will fit right in with the song.
That's true. Most of our songs are in C, so we're gonna have to just
Is that a note?
swap them down a key.
Yeah.
Is C sharp a note?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was a programming language. Well, yeah,
It's both.
it is. Well, it is a programming language. You
Yeah,
just made me think about I don't know. Sorry. Continue on. Sorry.
We get it,
It's all
Jake. You're a
connected, Jake.
programmer.
Yeah.
I'm actually not. I tried to be, but I'm not.
You can do it.
I saw this band once, and the fire alarm was like pulled during their set.
Illuminati Hatties.
Yeah, Illuminati Hatties, and the alarm was in the key of the song, so it kind of fit, and it was on rhythm for that song. I'm trying to play another one, it was like way off. So
Yeah.
What was that that Nathan For You episode where he gets the fire alarm as like a instrument or something like that?
In the what episode?
Maybe no one's seen it.
Nathan
but
For You. I haven't seen that episode, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, he like tries to make
I
it
love that
into
show.
into an
Yeah.
That show's fucking hilarious. Oh, shit.
Joe rocks. Well, you want to play another song for us, Ben?
Sure.
Yay!
Ooh.
This time, everybody mute. Can you talk a little bit about the song before you play it?
Oh yeah, of course. So this is the first song off of our last full length called Spin. It's called Follows.
Ben Walsh, everybody.
Gone away from this shell of life. I have found myself wandering into behind glass. I was frozen like time in a memory you can't get away from. Killing time, we're all just killing time. Going out every night to feel fine. It's chemical courage and positive lines against all of the things that we're trying to hide. I should have listened to you when you said nothing will make this easier. I should have listened to you when you said running won't get you away from this. no clarity left for the picture. Filter out what I want to forget. Wipe away all the names and the faces. Should've listened to you when you said nothing will make this easier. Should've listened to you when you said running won't get you away from this. Follows wherever I go. Follows wherever I go. Breathing in slow, breathing out and letting 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 go.
All right.
Yay! Woo!
There you go.
That was good.
Properly.
Honk,
That was
honk,
great.
honk, honk.
Auga.
Ooga.
That was great. That was great.
That's what I want my horn to be. Auga.
We need something.
We had
to
a comment
replace
from Jasmine
the clap.
Canoch.
The clap has had its day. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's
Maybe the
done.
heart. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Just silent.
am I doing it? I think my heart has heart disease. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, for real. No, sorry.
oh,
Oh,
don't
just
get
kidding.
dark.
Oh, big woo from Donnie. Donnie's woos have really picked up during throughout the course of the show. So
Donnie's been wooing for an hour now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Love
So,
that.
yeah.
I love being wooed.
Love that big woo energy.
I
That was
appreciate you,
that
Donnie.
was very awesome, Ben. Thank you so much for
That
being
was so
here.
much
That was
fun.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you
you.
very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
so,
I always,
so,
I always enjoy hanging with you guys, and it's always been a pleasure. And hope we can hang out in real life soon.
Yeah, without touring, like so many of my friends that live in different cities, I just don't get to see now. So it's a bummer.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate it a little bit more, right?
Well,
Like,
I
know
can't
some
wait to
people
come
like
and eat
hell.
some donuts.
Yeah.
Come on down. Come on
yeah,
down.
check out Hello Donuts if you're in Philly, and follow Tigers Jaw on Twitter at Tiger Jaw. And what was the Instagram for Hello Donuts again? I feel like there's a lot of people that'll be very excited about the donuts.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
followed it.
Hello Donuts PHL is the handle.
Okay.
Yeah. Ben says he
People
has
are asking for
more
one more
material
song.
to play, so.
Oh, people are asking for one more song. They're
Oh my god,
we've had a request for
they're
let's
never
see.
happy.
Let's see
Yeah.
what Jake.
I
I'll
think
just go through.
Donnie requested it. I don't know who else.
Yeah. Well, there was a request for I Saw Water, and then Jasmine Cano said she was in the front when Follows was the first song played at the San Antonio last year show. I cried. I tweeted them so many times before the police play that song.
I hope we did that night. I think we did that show.
Yeah.
I remember that show. It was really fun.
Where was it at? What venue?
That was at the Paper Tiger
Oh,
in San Antonio.
I'm not familiar. We always played the White Rabbit, I think.
Hmm.
They name venues after animals, I guess, in that town.
I guess so.
Then you're getting a lot of requests when you're done. It's like play
Good
window.
God.
Oh, I don't want to take over the show.
Yeah.
You said you had 14 hours of material.
I did say that I had 14 hours of material.
All right, 14 hours. Let's go.
Yeah.
I feel like I mean if you're down, I feel like we're over. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no pressure. If you
we
want to
don't
play
have
another
to.
song, but if you don't have to. If you got something to do, but
You can
I'm
absolutely
down.
say no, and we will
I'm down
laugh.
for
It'll
a
be
little more.
great.
I say if you can, we should take Donnie's request.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, Donnie? What do you want to hear?
Donnie wants. He said, "I Saw Water."
Oh, I can do that.
okay.
This one's for you, Donnie.
Find
For you,
some water.
Daddy.
Sorry to the others. Your requests were heard, but we got a limited amount of time. Go for it, Ben.
All right, this one goes out to Donnie.
Wanted to break my friends, but my dependency led me away. I like to think that I can work it out some, but I wanna be put into the ground. Today, I needed a break. My friends were up in mountains and drowning in the lakes. And I swallowed water right in front of her face, just to show that she had nothing to say. And I felt lighter, and I impressed her. My emotions ran on a post. I felt just like Ryan Jones. I never felt that lost before. I just don't feel incredible, but me. Of course I liked you. Have time for me. I don't expect you to. And I see me become reckless. It's very easy to seclude. And I saw water, and I felt better. I woke up feeling embarrassed from when I drowned in my swimming pool. You thought it was an accident, but I just can't get along with you, but me. Of course I liked 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 you. Donnie.
Yay, that was a great choice.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm sure you just made Donnie's year for sure.
I hope so. It's been a tough year, so
Yeah.
That kind of comes full
if I can
circle
help one
because
person.
the first time we as a group the first time we as a group ever performed together was at AWOL, and Donnie was the host that night. So it's kind of like a nice little
a full
moment.
donut moment. I'm going to start trying that.
Well done.
Well, Ben, thanks so much for being so gracious for performing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Come back anytime. Donnie, we'll end it with this biggest woo for sure from Donnie, and then he says thank you. So, and we all thank you. So,
thanks so much.
Yeah. So follow Tigers Jaw, check them out, eat a lot of donuts if you're in his area of Philly.
Hell yeah.
All right, take it easy, Ben.
Give my love to everyone back.
Thank you.
All right.
So cool.
That was great. That was so nice of him to play. That's our first 3-song performance.
Yeah, that's our first like encore request too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's a great song too. So.
Thanks to everybody for being so active in the comments. This is like a new feature where we can actually display the comments, and I think it really paid off. And sorry to people if your song request didn't get met. It's our fault. Blame me. Don't blame.
You got enough, okay?
Yeah. I'm the guy's all right already. He's very busy.
Oh my God, we got too many Ricks.
Yeah.
Too many Ricks.
Oh, whoa, double Rick.
Oh no.
They're multiplying.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave both Ricks in. They deserve to be here. Which one is the evil Rick? I don't know.
Hey, if you're new to our Facebook, follow us. Give us a little like.
Give us a follow. Share our page. Smash that like button.
Yeah, if you have a band you'd like to see on, or a comedian or improviser, stand-up actor, whatever, someone you think would be good on our show, we'd love to talk to them. We're on every other Monday, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. But thanks again. Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Normally we have a YouTube, but it wasn't able to live stream today, so this show will go up immediately after.
Yep.
But next week, follow us on YouTube.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, smash, all the above.
Yeah, and you can search for Friends Detroit and follow Friends Detroit if you want to stay updated, on the latest acts coming up and little short films and the stuff we do comedy-wise. And
yeah.
Why are you laughing, Caitlin? Did I say something wrong?
She's really laughing.
I don't know what I said.
Well, I think we'll find out later.
But I'm laughing with Caitlin, and laughing feels good.
All right.
She's got a great laugh. It's
I know.
contagious.
All right, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to end the show before she explains why she's laughing.
Tune in 2 weeks to find out what Caitlin found funny.
All right, have a good night, everyone. Love you guys.
Night.
Bye.